What if I told you that I could teach you the core fundamentals to ensure that you would price your house correctly no matter what market we're in? Today, I intend to do exactly that. Now, to crack the code on pricing, first you must deeply understand the anatomy of a buyer. You see, the harsh truth is that it doesn't make any difference to a buyer how much a seller wants for their house. Every buyer must perceive your home as one of two things. It must be the premier option available to them, or it must be the best value available to them. If your home is defined as one of these things to a buyer, then what you've just done is positioned yourself to be the obvious choice, which is the first principle, and that is to be the obvious choice to as many buyers as possible in your market. Now, a lot of sellers are gonna get this wrong. What they'll do is they'll price their house a little bit above the range that they actually think their house is worth, but what they end up doing is find themselves competing with other listings that offer a bit more in terms of location, condition, or overall amenities. Their hope is that a buyer will come in and make a lower offer and it will give themselves room to negotiate. But here's what you got to understand is that buyers use cost comparison when they're making a buying decision. Buyers don't come in and make lower offers on houses that are priced higher. They just simply make an alternative buying decision and purchase someone else's listing. Here's a great illustration to help you see that a lot of sellers, when they price their house over the actual market value of the house, they think that they're giving themselves room to negotiate, but what they're actually doing is attracting less buyers. Principle number 2 is to always set the market and never chase the market. So when you publish your home as a listing for sale in any market, what you've actually done is just introduced something into an ecosystem. Think of it this way. Imagine there's a pond. And in that pond, there's fish that are always swimming around and looking for food. Now, imagine that you've just dropped a piece of bread into that water, or in other words, introduced something into their ecosystem. What's going to happen is that all of those fish are going to rush to that new piece of food that's been introduced into their ecosystem, and one of a couple of things are going to happen. The first one is that they're all going to frenzy over this new piece of food, fight each other for it, and the strongest fish will get the new piece of food. The next thing that could happen is that all of those fish come and they kind of nibble at it and peck at it and make a determination that it's not quite what they're looking for and kind of move on with their lives and look for other food. Well, the same thing happens when you introduce your home into the market for sale. All of the buyers will come and flood, and they'll either frenzy over it or they'll check it out, make a determination that it's not the best thing available to them, move on and look for other things. So here's a great illustration of the difference between setting the market or chasing the market. Let's say that the orange line running horizontally represents the actual market value of your home for better or for worse. You'll see that the gray area represents that period of time when you've first been introduced into the market or introduced into the ecosystem, where all of the buyers will come to check out this new thing that's been introduced into the market. So the objective and what's critically important is to be priced correctly at this period of time. So what you'll see is that if you price the house too high during this period of time, then all of the buyers will come and check out that new house available in their ecosystem, and you won't land on their radar as the most premier option available to them or the best value available to them. So what will happen is that you'll sit on the market and you'll be forced to reduce your price. And then you'll sit on the market and be forced to reduce your price because the longer you sit on market, the perceived market value is constantly going down. This is called time decay. So what you'll have is a series of price reductions until you eventually sell your house, and you'll end up selling your house for this much after a longer period of time when you could have sold your house for this much after a much shorter period of time. Another thing to consider with time decay is that the longer you're on the market, you're incurring cost of holding. What this means is that every month you sit on the market, you're losing more money to the cost of utilities, the cost of taxes, additional mortgage payments, and so on. This is referred to as the cost of holding. And the third and final principle is to always price at whole numbers. Many people will think that they're gaining some kind of psychological advantage by pricing their house at, let's say, $199 instead of $200, or $249 instead of $250, or $129 instead of $130. However, I'm going to show you exactly why that's wrong. Here is a perfect illustration of this concept. What you're seeing is data in the local market that I live in for houses between $200,000 and $250,000. Each one of the bars on this graph represents the amount of showings in each price range broken down into $10,000 increments. So for example, from top to bottom, the first bar is $200,000 to $109,999. The next bar is $210,000 to $219,999, and so on. But this is a perfect representation to why you always want to price at whole numbers. You can see that if you would have priced your house at $219 rather than $220, you would have lost out on the vast majority of the buyers that are looking in that price range. By pricing your house at $220,000, you would have found yourself on the inquiries of anybody searching from homes up to $220,000 and anyone searching for homes from $220,000. The exact same principle applies if you would have listed your house for $239,000 or anything between $230,000 and $239,000. In relation to a pricing strategy of $240,000, you would have missed out on a vast majority of the buyers that are looking right in that range. Again, you would have landed on the search inquiry for any buyer searching up to $240,000 and any buyer searching from $240,000. The bottom line is that there will always be buyers in the market, no matter if we're in a buyer's market or a seller's market. Those buyers are always going to choose to purchase the premier option available to them, or the option available to them that they perceive as the best value. If you're selling your house, your objective is to always be perceived as the obvious choice to as many buyers as possible in your market. If you're able to do this, then you will always be able to leverage the best price and the best terms and always ensure that you'll have a quick sale no matter what the market conditions. If you like this video and got value from this content, please like and share, and as always, thanks for watching.